Oh, okay. I'm gonna merge over.
Okay.
And what do these words mean? What does it mean to be a patriot in this current moment?
And Mr. Emhoff, the Republican staff director of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Ms. Emily Leviner, the Senate Secretary for the Minority, the Honorable Gary Myrick, the House of Representatives Chief Administrative Officer, the Honorable Catherine Spindor, and Mr. Bruce Fisher.
They bring the First Lady and the only second gentleman in the history of the United States.
The first and only second gentleman thus far. I was just thinking, as we're talking about words and the meaning, President Trump has previewed, and his team have previewed, that his remarks today are going to be about unity and strength. Now, how one president defines unity is very different from how another president defines unity. I would note that 4 years ago, President Biden actually issued a proclamation on his inauguration day declaring it a day of unity. Arguably, I'm pretty sure you could ask anyone in this country right now, do you feel like this country is in a moment of unity? And they would say, no, those other guys are terrible.
Well, many people define unity as, why don't you just agree with me? And that is the challenge of this moment, is for people to find what they do agree on, or do they agree on the basic system of checks and balances, of laws and everything else.
Right. Well, Michelle talked about how the January 6th riots will be seen. And, Steve Bannon, who's kind of the personification of the MAGA base, has said famously, and this is an old quote, the victors write the history. And, there's going to be a big battle over what is the correct history of the January 6th moment.
Can I just mention, when we say the victors write the history, there are victors with different points of view who are represented in this room. Steve Bannon is not in this room, but has a particular point of view of what Trump should be doing.
Right.
Some of the tech executives here maybe have a different point of view about what that is.
Right. But in terms of January 6th, which is really a important moment in American history, where the Capitol was breached in an effort to overturn a free and fair election. Trump believes, and certainly Steve Bannon would agree with him, that it was patriots who tried to overturn an election that was rigged and stolen from him. And the January 6th Commission, Select Committee, who spent months and months looking into this, have said, no, this was an illegal attempt to stop the peaceful transfer of power, which is the bedrock of American democracy. So there's going to be, now Trump has the upper hand in terms of writing that history, and we don't know what we'll see on the Mall. Instead of monuments or exhibits devoted to civil rights leaders, maybe there'll be one devoted to the quote.
Can you hear me, Lisa?
I can hear you. And there's something else that will happen during these 4 years of the Trump presidency, and that is in 2026. I'm going to try to get this word correct. The semi-sesquicentennial, the 250th birthday of the United States. Major celebrations are planned. A lot of them are well underway. They've been
all right,
planned
everybody can hear.
But the president of the United States is sure to be part of it, and I believe he has publicly said, this is something I want to be involved in, something that I'm interested in.
Well, he also wanted that military parade, remember? And the military said, our tanks are too heavy. They'll ruin Pennsylvania Avenue. And he had to back off.
Tim.
Yeah, and I remember a 4th of July at the White House, actually it was in 2020, covering President Trump at the time, where there were flyovers of various military aircraft. And it was, and he was talking about patriotism. And he, in his first inaugural, talked about how Americans can be united behind this idea of patriotism. He also talks about success bringing unity. I talked to a former aide of his who said that I was like, well, what does he mean by unity? And he said that everyone is equally successful, whether they support him or not. I think that one of the big things that all of us will be watching is President Trump ran on, he says it, grocery prices and the border. We know what he's doing about the border. It's not clear what he is going to be able to do about grocery prices.
Well, we also know that this president has, frankly, like Barack Obama before him, has a very big footprint in the national culture. Yes. It's not just a matter of what he says and does politically. It's also a matter of the cultural tone that he sets. And so one of the things that I will be really interested in is what other direction the culture takes from what he's doing here. It's just interesting to see that his emissaries to Hollywood, whom he named apparently rather spontaneously, to the point where apparently several of them didn't even really know that they were going to be named, were from action heroes like Sylvester Stallone or Mel Gibson, people who, or John Voight, people who represent a kind of a certain kind of Hollywood. And also, I was thinking about what Mara was saying about the January 6th attack. I mean, that was obviously one of the most documented events in our history. There were cameras there from every angle. People had access to what was happening there in real time. And then you also have the work of the select committee. So it'll be really interesting to see how culture absorbs these competing narratives and which one takes hold. Because as we know, the culture often takes a turn that political leaders may not want or expect.
And speaking of cultural figures, Dana White, the USC president, got one of the 750 tickets. We're also seeing an image of Elon Musk, who, if you asked 4 years ago, is Elon Musk even interested in this sort of thing? I'm not sure that people would have known for sure if he was or wasn't, but now we know he intensely is. And he is a huge cultural figure, a huge business figure, and clearly now also a huge political figure, along with other people.
A house full of demons.
And Dana White is the head of the
I'm
Ultimate
getting
Fighting
better.
Game,
All of his
MMA,
sons are
very
there.
popular, has grown
I see.
hugely over the years.
I didn't
He is
see his daughter
directly
yet.
behind the former presidents of the United States in this room. So it is.
Yeah,
it is quite-
Kamala,
his
husband is
friend,
there.
Trump's, and is another one of these people who has helped Trump
People are asking questions, Lisa,
into
on my channel.
a part of the electorate that has typically been very disengaged.
But what I like
which
is Michelle Obama didn't show up.
And Trump found a way, also with the help of his son Barron, who is towering over everyone in that room. He is so tall. He found a way to tap into those young male voters who weren't even voters before, got them
The
engaged.
boy don't even talk. Shut up.
Point out that this is inauguration.
Talking that
but
shit.
it is also
Don't even
Well,
talk.
I
I ain't
tell
never
you
even
what,
heard of you. What you talking about?
I know.
a towering figure
talking
in
in
American
secret
life
because
and our
nobody
culture.
ever sees him.
And to
talking
acknowledge that, I
publicly.
want to bring in Reverend William Lamar IV. He is pastor of Metropolitan AME Church here in Washington, D.C.,
He helped
not
his
far
father
from where the
with
inaugural ceremonies are taking place. It is
with the
also a
election.
place, a
Trump
storied
already
place
said the damn
where
thing was
towering
rigged.
figures like
Sure
Lawrence
did.
Dunbar and Frederick Douglass once worshipped. Reverend Lamar is with us now. Reverend Lamar, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be a part of the coverage.
And obviously, one of the reasons we called you is that the inauguration falling on
not a
Martin Luther King Day.
pastor.
You think a lot about his legacy in civil rights.
Yeah,
and
Donna,
how this
see,
fits
he's
into
better
our
now.
politics today. I was just wondering
Thank y'all
what
for your prayers and
the
your
confluence
support.
of these events brings up for you today.
Well, it is indeed a day for rich reflection. I think that the King legacy has been hijacked in many ways. And I think that
a
what I
year
really
ago,
want to
that
talk about
rotunda was smeared with pee and
about a
poo.
world house
And that's where they
that
have
comes
the inauguration.
together
Right in
with
that
I never
same
forget when you
rotunda.
called me.
together in global
Yeah.
solidarity.
You
is
see how
necessary.
disrespectful
I also
he
looked
is?
up, his speech when he talked about the triple evils of poverty, racism, war.
Said
And I think
Michelle
that we
Obama
get
South
stuck
Side,
on
she
the
ain't got
dream
time for
without
that
unpacking
mess.
that it was a demand that a check that was written to the children of the enslaved
Yeah, I
for
heard about that,
justice
T.
and
Taylor.
for citizenship and for justice had been returned
Yeah, Lisa on
non-sufficient
her
funds.
channel.
So I think that King needs to
We
be
merged together,
unfrozen from a
everybody.
national narrative that makes him a mascot for empire. He really was when he spoke of the
Got that hat
revolution
on,
values necessary
cover up all that plastic surgery.
economically, spiritually, and politically.
Reverend Lamar, I want to mention that as we are speaking, Melania Trump, the wife of the president-elect, soon to be president again, and Usha Vance, the wife of the soon-to-be vice president, are walking into the Capitol. We will be seeing them enter shortly. You know, in 2020, I'm sure you remember this better than anyone, that pro-Trump rally-goers and Proud Boy members destroyed a Black Lives Matter sign in front of your church. And I just wondered how that moment sits with you now. Is it something that members of the congregation still think about? Does it
Lisa,
carry?
you see that man with that camera walking in the back of the couple that's coming in? My son got a camera just like that.
The one thing we
Oh,
must
there go
recall
Ivanka. I see her
is
now.
that
Yeah, I seen her earlier.
persons who came for January 6th,
They said his
like
his
he would
second
have
wife
given
is there.
outcome. And the challenge
Yeah, I
of
see his daughter is
Proud
there.
Boys
Yeah, they
reaching
said
our
his second
property
wife. They
thinking
seen her
that
out
they
there
had
taking
a
I think
pictures.
her name is Tiffany.
step
Yeah,
onto
she's
Yeah,
there.
Tiffany.
that was set aside
He
for
don't have
worship
nothing
and
to do with that child. He
and
just
their
adore her.
ability, their desire to bring harm to a place that has only existed, that worship, justice, and liberation be made palpable and present for all persons. It shows, Michelle, the disease of American democracy. If you can call America a democracy.
If I can just interrupt here, we're going to go back to the rotunda.
Reverend Lamarck, if you could just hold on for a second here.
Oh, Lord, somebody could sing.
Opera tenor singing "Oh America." Let's listen.
Calling me to pay true to thee, I will be. Oh, America, no weeping, let there be no wounded heart.
Where's Bevic? Where's Bevic?
And we'll continue our discussion. We'll just note that Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic leader, is on his way in as key individuals begin to file in. And I believe over his shoulder, I see Vice President Harris and President Biden all together.
Reverend Lamar, we interrupted you briefly. We wanted to ask how you were telling us how that moment.
You can't imagine the stench in there. You know what? You're right.
Church was destroyed by these rally goers.
How
did that sit with you?
As much as we congratulate ourselves in America that there are many miles to go, but there are persons who still believe that it is their work and their right to establish a politics of fear, especially for those of us
Smell like sulfur
for all persons. And the challenge that remains in American democracy
is that a president that wears a diaper is about to be sworn in.
I know. Democratic from its foundation, it only included property white men.
Got him a diaper changer too.
And the politically of those exclusionary democratists.
That's Campbell.
Is people still believe that you can have a democracy and exclude human beings. That is why the push, the tug, the strenuous fight continues, because there is no democracy.
That sure is a nice suede.
Before we let you go, Reverend Lamar, what is your work these next 4 years? How are you preparing your congregation to meet?
You can't button it, but it is nice.
Well, we have met the moment, first of all, in stillness.
You said that's probably the only day they bathe, white folks bathe themselves.
The music of fraternity.
And we noticed their pictures look so dim.
Instead of
old pictures of them,
we will
the
gather
forefathers,
to plan and discuss the best way forward for justice-loving people, and we will move together. At the last Trump inauguration, I think many of us were moving emotionally, and that was appropriate. This time, we moved strategically, planfully, powerfully, bringing together dangling discord, as King said, into a symphony of what is possible when all human beings are
one of the sorriest inaugurations I've ever seen.
That is the Reverend William Lamar IV of Metropolitan AME Church. Reverend Lamar, thank you so much for joining us. We may call you back later to respond to the speech if we have time. Thank you so much for sharing these insights right now.
And we just got
on TV, so that's why y'all hear me.
Klobuchar, the Minnesota senator, a Democrat who will do the invocation today. Reminder that this is a civic ceremony, in effect,
the call to order.
Bipartisan.
Yeah, they are walking.
It's the call
Keep in mind, everybody.
She, as a member of the
a lot of people just coming in for the swearing in, and then they going. They're not
staying for the presidential
invocation will be given by spiritual leaders, as it always is.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the correction. She was walking in alongside Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and here's a glimpse of President-elect Trump, who will appear in the Capitol shortly. Before we go to that, though, let's go to Hogan Gidley, who has worked for the president, former deputy press secretary for the Trump White House and campaign. Hogan, where are you? What are you experiencing?
Remember, the sun is aligning with Pluto
right now,
today.
In my office, I also do some work with the Speaker of the House, so I've had the privilege of being here today and seeing.
Look at them legs.
Amazing.
Them legs going every which way.
Amazing scenes.
And walk.
Sounds. This has been really, really nice, and so I'm excited to go back up there when I'm off the radio with you and go watch the rest of this inauguration.
What are some of the challenges and opportunities of this moment as the president tries to get a fast start, has a large number of executive orders he wants to get out of the door possibly today?
Well, I think it is a tale of two presidencies. The first time he came in, I believe in the first 24 hours, he signed one executive order. Joe Biden signed 19. President Trump had 500 staffers.
That boy is tall.
Joe Biden had 1,500. So Trump was, coming in kind of new and fresh, not having the organization, not having the streamlined system that he has in place today. And so what you're going to see is kind of the culmination of being around the block a few times, having the wisdom and discernment of having been president before.
He looks so awkward.
The pitfalls, knowing the challenges, but also knowing how to get things accomplished more quickly. So you're going to see that obviously today with the executive orders and other things. Preparation to go on day one. It's going to move quickly.
Coming up in here with that stuff. You ain't nothing but a damn coon.
Drag
him, everybody. Drag his ass.
Ranking member of the Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the Honorable Deb Fisher.
Well, he's got a coon up in here.
The Honorable Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Majority Secretary, the
Trump
Honorable
ain't gonna do
Robert
a damn
Duncan.
thing for your black ass.
He sure ain't.
Those officials, Democratic and Republican,
Minor.
walking in.
Oh, it's Ricky Minor. He's the king of all raccoons.
Yeah, king of raccoon. Some of y'all lost y'all riches in here.
Radio,
Give y'all riches back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Why
the
do they always do
President of
that?
the United States, the Honorable Joseph R. Biden Jr., and Vice President of the
Mike
United
Lewis,
States, the
give me a
Honorable
wrench.
Kamala Davy Harris.
Hail to the chief. Played one more time for President Biden.
And we have to note that President Trump did not attend the inaugural ceremonies for his successor.
Wow.
So we did not see this moment
cold piece of
where
work,
the outgoing president was on hand to greet the incoming president. That did not happen 4 years ago.
I will note on a completely different note, the weather in Washington yesterday made me think there's an entirely different meaning to hail to the chief. It was hailing yesterday on this pre-inauguration weekend. President Biden, though, manages a cheerful expression on the way.
You're welcome, Mike.
As did Vice President Harris, I will say. Chatting with a few people.
Escorting the Vice President-elect, the Executive Director for the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Mr. Michael Wagner, Senate Deputy Sergeant at Arms Jason Bell, and House Deputy Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Sean Keating.
Hogan Gidley, we've got just a few seconds as people walk in, as J.D. Vance is brought in. You said you're working for Speaker Johnson. How ready is Congress to move?
Okay, I got it now, Mike.
The Speaker's been pretty clear. Trump's going to call the plays, and we're going to run them. So I expect Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune to move together quickly, to work in a way that I don't think we've seen Congress operate in quite some time, with a level of rapidity that is so foreign to the people here in D.C., but you're going on Trump time. He likes to do things quickly. He likes to get things going. So I think right out of the gate, whether this reconciliation bill is 1 or 2,
look at this fool.
He'll
do any and everything
quickly for Washington standards to accomplishing things for the American people.
And exceptionally narrow congressional majority for Speaker Johnson, and you have a little more room in the Senate, but still it's a body that's hard to move. So it'll be a challenge, and we'll see how far they get. Hogan Gidley, former Deputy Press Secretary for the Trump White House and the Trump campaign. Pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And we'll mention that as Hogan was talking, J.D. Vance came in. Red tie, American flag lapel, and awaiting his turn to be sworn in. What we expect in the next few minutes is the swearing in of the Vice President, and then the swearing in of the President-elect, who will stop calling that in a few minutes here.
I have to note that the gallery there is so crowded that all these dignitaries have to some of them have to squeeze past each other in order to get to their assigned seats.
But it's fascinating for that
it's
very
like
reason.
almost like a movie theater where you have to kind of squeeze by people.
Yes, but there's J.D. Vance, then you have Don Trump Jr., you have Sundar Pichai, the tech executive. You have quite a mixture of people, Mar-a-Lago.
Escorting the President-elect, The staff director for the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Farah.
I will just
House
note that
Sergeant at
while
Arms,
this is
the
all
Honorable
happening,
William T.
President
McFarland,
Biden has just
Senate
announced
Sergeant
more
at Arms, and
pardons.
Dorsey,
He
Honorable
he
Jennifer
is
A.
not yet
Hemingway,
done being
Senate
president.
Majority
You
And
better give us some news before we get to these swearings in. Go for it.
yes, so he is commuting
I
the
didn't
life
know
sentence
Tupperville
imposed on
walked
Leonard
with that kind
Peltier.
of waddle. He walked like a
He
penguin.
is also exercising under his power under the Constitution to pardon members of his own family. These would be preemptive pardons: James B. Biden, Sarah Jones Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, Francis W. Biden.
Yes, y'all people
He
that
says
luncheon,
that
they
the
need a
issuance of these
lot of
pardons should not be
mayonnaise.
mistaken as an acknowledgement
All you
that
got to
they're
do is
engaged
give
in any wrongdoing,
him
nor
some
should
McDonald's.
acceptance be construed as an
That's
admission
all
of guilt.
Trump. He want McDonald's.
Remarkable statement there. James Biden, one of the names you gave, the president's brother, does a lot of business and was questioned in a lot of ways, and Republicans had demanded investigations of the Biden family.
Exactly. And so the president here is using his pardon power to and he did this earlier today. There was an announcement.
You're right about that. The ceremony is tacky, and there is nothing impressive about it.
Fauci, among
Absolutely.
others. And what he seems to be doing here is saying that investigations can wreak havoc on people's
And
lives.
we are about to receive the president.
And I don't care how cold it is outside. It wasn't enough people gonna show up to that thing.
A round of applause as he walks into the Capitol Rotunda.
Yeah, you're right about that, dark-skinned brother.
Shakes a hand or two on his
Trump
way
has
in.
no tact and no diplomacy.
Air kiss with Melania.
Was that even a real kiss?
Seemingly warm greeting with
That looked like some
President
fake
Biden
out
for a
kiss.
few more minutes.
Oh, you see that? Oh my goodness, that
Vice
cake,
President.
that kiss was weak.
Yeah.
She don't want him touching her. He stank.
Up there and didn't even earn it. You didn't even earn it.
The president with, I would say, a purple tie today. People look for the symbolism in colors. He didn't go with bright red, something a little closer to purple.
A damn
We're looking at video
convicted
shots of the
felon.
Capitol Rotunda, where if you're just joining us, about 750 people are on hand. Many of the most powerful
somebody
and
got the
prominent
pimp
people in the
in.
U.S. government
Jewel,
and in business
To use your pimp in that quick.
are on hand, and also a large number of people in what does affect the overflow room there, the U.S. Capitol Visitor Center, where people who would have been on the mall are present watching on video.
Come up in here, you're gonna get the pimp in.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
And now we begin, most likely with Amy Klobuchar, the Democratic senator. I'll note that 4 years ago, it was a Republican senator who was the master of ceremonies for the inauguration of a Democratic president. It feels fitting, perhaps, or at least fitting to the moment or the intentions of the moment, that you would have someone from the other party who is effectively running the show. President Trump, Vice President Vance have it.
You know what that small room smell like?
Before they get started.
They defecated all over that damn room.
I know, right? And that's where he's having
Please
his
welcome woman of the
inauguration.
Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies,
same
the
room that
Honorable
Cook
Amy
competed
Klobuchar.
in.
You funny, T. Taylor.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 60th presidential inauguration.
Amy
Today,
Klobuchar.
President-elect Trump and
Yeah, she
Vice
a evil
President
He is.
Vance will take their oaths of office, and we will witness the peaceful transfer of power at the heart of our democracy. For the past year, I've chaired the Inaugural Ceremony Committee, which includes the leadership of Congress from both parties. We thank the committee and Capitol staff and law enforcement who worked so hard over the last year, and especially the last 3 days. You've done a beautiful job, and you have shown grace under pressure.
Oh, she's some old
Our
rag
theme this
behind.
year is our
He was one of
enduring
those people
democracy.
that looked the other way.
The presence of
in
so
Minnesota
many
when those
presidents and
cops were
vice
abusing
presidents
all
here today
kinds of black
is
folks.
truly a
He did
testament
nothing
to that
about it, and
endurance.
she was in a
We
position to
welcome
do something
President
about it.
Biden and
I
Dr.
remember.
Biden. We welcome Vice President Harris and Doug Emhoff, President Obama, President Clinton and Secretary Clinton, President Bush and Laura Bush, Vice President Pence, Vice President Quayle and Marilyn Quayle. The Justice of the United States Supreme Court are with us, all 9 of them I counted, and of course, the Trump and Vance families. This ceremony marks what will soon be 250 years of our democracy. It is the moment when leaders elevated by the will of the people promise to be faithful to our Constitution, to cherish and defend it. It is the moment when they become, as we all should be, the guardians of our country. Through war and peace, through adversity and prosperity, we hold this inauguration every 4 years. And today it falls on Martin Luther King Day, a further reminder that we must strive to uphold the values enshrined in our Constitution, the freedoms, the liberties, and as is inscribed on the entrance of the United States Supreme Court, equal justice under law. But what makes this moment more than a passing ceremony is all who are watching it across the country, the people of this nation, the ordinary people doing extraordinary things. President Kennedy, who at one point worked as a senator in this building and would often walk through this very rotunda, once said, "In a democracy, every citizen, regardless of interest in politics, holds office. Every one of us is in a position of responsibility. With responsibility of citizenship comes an obligation not to seek out malice, as President Lincoln once reminded us, but to view others with a generosity of spirit, despite our differences. With that responsibility of leadership comes an obligation to stand our ground when we must and find common ground when we can. With everything swirling around us, the hot mess of division, it is on all of us, to quote an incredible songwriter who just happened to be born in date, to ensure that our nation's democracy is our shelter from the storm. There's a reason this ceremony takes place at the Capitol. In other countries, it might be in a presidential palace or a gilded executive office building. Here it is traditionally held at the Capitol, the People's House. It is a fitting reminder of the system of checks and balances that is the very foundation of our government, 3 equal branches of government. That is how, for nearly 250 years, our great American experiment, grounded in the rule of law, has endured. So, as we inaugurate a new president and vice president, let us remember that the power of those in this room comes from the people. The construction workers who build our country, the teachers and healthcare workers who nurture us, the troops defending our freedoms, and yes, firefighters in Los Angeles putting themselves on the line for us. Our democracy's strength and grit must match theirs. May God bless our nation. Thank you.
Senator Klobuchar making statements that would be routine at any inauguration, but when a Democrat talks about leaders promising to be faithful to the Constitution and quoting Lincoln about malice toward none, they also fall in a particular way at this particular inauguration.
Good afternoon. Endurance through the years is the ultimate test. To persevere through time is the truest measure of an idea, an institution, and a nation. Our founders wrote the Constitution so that America could stand all the twists and turns of time. They wrote it to guide us and to preserve forever our right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
But as much as the truths and principles enshrined in our Constitution remain the same, our democracy promises the American people the power to change, to chart their own destiny. That's the beauty. That is the importance of democracy. It allows the endurance, the permanence of a nation through change. It allows nations like our United States both to avoid the obstacles and to seize the opportunities God has placed before us, all while staying true to our founding principles. Today is our country's 60th inauguration ceremony. Like all the others before it, it is a celebration of our right to set our uniquely American course. The past several years have been trying at times for many, many Americans, and also for the nations of the free world that we humbly strive to lead. In November, Americans chose again to steer this nation towards greatness, the secure, safe, and prosperous future that our founders envisioned for all of us. And today, we celebrate not only their decision to do so, but also the simple right and wisdom of a free people to make their own choice so that their nation might endure. And now, allow me to welcome Archbishop Timothy Dolan and Reverend Franklin Graham, who will deliver our invocation. Please rise.
We just heard from Senator Deb Fischer, Republican of Nebraska. She, along with Amy Klobuchar, head the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. They are, in essence, the hosts of this event today.
Be still and know that I am God, supreme among the nations, supreme on the earth. Let us pray. Remembering General George Washington on his knees at Valley Forge, recalling Abraham Lincoln at his second inaugural, with malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, with the right. Remembering General George Patton's instructions to his soldiers as they began the Battle of the Bulge 8 decades ago: pray in fighting, pray alone, pray with others, pray by night, pray by day. The Reverend Martin Luther King, who warned, without God, our efforts turn to ashes. We,
the Most High, ain't
this
with you.
one nation under God, humbled by our claim that in God we trust, gather indeed this inauguration day to pray for our President Donald J. Trump, his family, his advisors, his cabinet, his aspirations, his vice president. For the Lord's blessings upon Joseph Biden, for our men and women in uniform, for each other whose hopes are stoked this new year, this inauguration day. We cannot rely upon that prayer from the Bible, upon which our president will soon place his hand in oath, as we make our own the supplications of King Solomon for wisdom as he began his governance. Out of our wisdom, you set man to govern your creatures, to govern in holiness and justice, to render justice with integrity. Give our leader wisdom, for he is your servant, aware of his own weakness and brevity of life. If wisdom is not from you, be not with him, he shall be held in no esteem. Send
That's a prayer.
Wisdom from heavens, that she may be with him, that he may know your designs. Please, God, bless America. Please.
That's a prayer for white Jesus.
Every flaw. You are the God in whom we trust, who lives and reigns forever and ever.
And apologies for the difficulties with the audio feed from the Capitol. We're working on that.
There are times I'm sure you
This
thought
is Franklin
it was
Graham.
pretty dark. But look what God has done. We praise
Isn't
him and
that
give
ironic?
him glory. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, thou hast said, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. As the prophet Daniel prayed, blessed be the name of God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. He changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings. He raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. Our Father, today, as President Donald J. Trump takes the oath of office once again, we come to say thank you, O Lord our God. Father, when Donald Trump's enemies thought he was down and out, you and you alone saved his life and raised him up with strength and power by your mighty hand. We pray for President Trump that you'll watch over, protect, guide, direct him. Give him your wisdom from your throne on high. We ask that you would bless him and that our nation would be blessed through him. We also ask that you would bless and protect Melania as First Lady. We thank you for the beauty, the warmth, and grace that she shows not only to this nation, but to the whole world. We thank you for Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and his wife Usha and their young family. May he be a strength to President Trump, to stand beside him, to hold up his arms like Aaron held up the arms of Moses in the midst of battle.
Oh, Lord.
Samuel reminded the people, it was you that brought them up from
They don't
the
have
land
the
of
same
Egypt.
power in their voice
And he
as
said, now
black man
stand
does when
still
he prays.
that I may reason with you before the Lord. So, Father, we take this moment to stand still, to remember the great things that you have done for this nation. Thank you for the protection, the bounty, the freedoms that we so enjoy. We remember to keep our eyes fixed on you, and may our hearts be inclined to your voice. We know that America can never be great again if we turn our backs on you. We ask for your help, and we pray all of this in the name of the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, your Son, my Savior, and our Redeemer, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Justice Kavanaugh to administer the Vice
We just heard from the
Presidential
Reverend
Oath of
Franklin
Office.
Graham, the son of Billy Graham, prominent evangelical leader. And before him, we heard from His Eminence Timothy Michael Cardinal Dolan, the Archbishop of New York.
Oh, the
And we will
same
now
Franklin
see the
Graham
Vice
that said there
President
was no
take
judgment
the
out
oath
there in
of office.
California.
It will be
Isn't that
administered now.
ironic? He would, yeah, yeah.
Donald Trump,
Boy,
another sign of Trump's
this is
effect
juicy.
on the Supreme Court, which may grow deeper during this term, for all we know.
And we see the small children of the Vances now emerge to watch their dad take the oath. I'm assuming that as a parent of once small children, that it was felt that these proceedings would be too long for them to sit comfortably still while all
Please
the
raise your
proceedings were
right
happening. And
hand
now with the oath of
and
office.
repeat after me. I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Against all enemies,
don't like his
foreign
wife.
and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
Usha Vance smiling and boosting a daughter during the swearing in for now Vice President J.D. Vance. And we'll note that it's noon, 12 o'clock, which so far as we know is the official time when the changeover would take place.
She's
Regardless
smiling
of the
because she know her
ceremony.
husband dumb.
So we can now refer to him as Vice President Vance. And although he has not taken the oath, we can refer to him for a second time as President Trump. If we understand the
You don't
program
have to help
correctly,
him
we
be
expect
vice
perhaps
president.
next to hear from Carrie Underwood. She is, as part of this program,
Gonna get
today, to be
ignored.
singing
Elon's
America
gonna
the Beautiful,
upstage him.
country music star, American Idol star.
Please welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer the
Nope, we're going to go
presidential
straight
oath of
ahead
office.
to, we have the wrong order of the program.
Sort
We'll
of
go
an
right to Chief Justice
improvisational
Roberts.
quality to the thing. I think
Or
they're
at least to the
moving
program
along.
that we
To
have.
the program that we
Yes.
have.
The
Remember, this was
Brooklyn
put together
Chief is
fairly
about to
quickly
be
at the
sworn
change
in,
of
y'all.
Yes.
from moving from outside to inside, and a little bit more jazz, a little less classical.
Chief Justice Roberts, who's done a number of presidents since being confirmed in 2005.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
come this
Donald John
demon.
Trump, do solemnly swear
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Chief Justice Roberts with a handshake. President Biden, the second person to shake the new president's
He said
hand.
a snake oil Bible.
Yep. Sworn in
We
on
have
that snake oil Bible.
An artillery salute going off outside the United States Capitol here in Washington, D.C. We hear Hail to the Chief playing.
So
now
you say
for a
you
new
give
chief.
Trump
I just want to
6
note
months to a year?
few words that were said by Deb Fisher, the Republican senator. We noted
he
that Amy
already done fell
Klobuchar,
out.
the Democratic senator, had bipartisan remarks with a Democratic slant. Deb Fisher talked instead about the permanence of the nation.
See how the first
through
100
change,
days go.
which is certainly something you would want to say on an occasion where
Well,
your party has won the election.
She went further. I thought it had a lot of partisan tones about how the last 4 years have been difficult at times, as if it was a bad time and now we're a good time. And she
Mike
said
Lewis,
the
she wearing
American
that hat
people
because she
voted
trying to
to steer
hide
their
down on
nation
plastic
to
surgery.
greatness. She said the past several years have been trying at times. And I think usually these speeches are very, very studiously nonpartisan. But that one had a little tinge of partisanship.
Okay, and we'll wait to see what happens next now that we know that the program that we have is perhaps not entirely accurate for the order in which things are going to happen. The new president remains standing. We do
Ain't
expect
nothing
a rather
right.
lengthy address from him.
Oh, you seen it completely. Oh, okay. Do anybody think Elon Musk gonna get kicked out completely?
Naval Academy Glee Club, and who are
Well,
processing
the music
as
is
they
off.
sing.
Oh, this stuff is oh Lord.
Y'all should have just hired a black gospel choir. It would be more entertaining.
Some stiff asses. Now I'm musically inclined. I don't hear nothing. It's ringing to my
It's no
ears.
small feat to put the choreography together for a ceremony like this on short notice in a
This
small
is a
space.
sad
I
inauguration.
have to say there are larger spaces in the Capitol and in the Capitol complex that they could have chosen for this event. They chose this space probably for the history, the tradition, the optics, the beautiful paintings.
I would have been singing off
that you
key
noted
too.
earlier, but it is not easy to put together something like this on short notice. And seeing the Glee Club process in as they sing
I
this
feel you, Mike
very
Lewis.
much cherished and revered song is it's quite interesting and adds a different tone.
Snoop Dogg and Nelly need their ass whipped.
And Kodak Black too.
Oh, Kodak Black too? Lord.
Yeah.
It's like the scene out of Omen. Yeah, it is bland. I didn't know you had a degree in music, Queen. Lisa, look at their faces. It's sundown town music.
Yeah, you can tell when the choir director ain't melanated.
Let us try to make men free while God is marching on.
Oh my goodness. This is painful, Lisa. Come on now. When they practice for this shit. Oh my Lord.
Getting pretty far into the verses.
Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. We'll cut it off.
Thank you, Lisa. Oh Lord.
Woo!
That was torture. Trying to hang through that. But the comments.
I'm sorry, but
the comments was the only thing that was helping me.
Right. Y'all know, like in the Bible, this is how you know it's not the same God that we worship. Did you hear the line in the song, God is marching on? And we know our Father don't leave the throne. He don't leave the throne.
You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, white Jesus is marching on.
Now, I know some of y'all need to really go listen to that video that Lisa put out earlier today that Trump, out of his mouth, said the election was rigged. Oh, he was bragging.
He sure was.
And she
rigged in his favor.
She didn't play it once. She played it a few times. Make sure you can hear it. It was very clear. You see, people will get to saying, oh, they piped that in and that came from somewhere else long ago. No,
Yeah. I mean, he had a long party up there at the Capital One Arena. And I think they're going back there. And I know those protesters are still up there saying they are going to protest even through his inauguration. So I would imagine many of them are probably already out on the streets up there in DC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's, they're going to try their best, but, we're going to find it to hide that type of stuff. But see, I had said, we're not even looking. I said, they're using the weather for an excuse. They don't give a damn about the weather. I said, all you got to do is see if people are reserving motel and hotel rooms. And Lisa confirmed it. What I was thinking, and I didn't even look it up. It's plenty rooms out there. It's probably the traffic, probably the lightest. They didn't ever had it in DC right now.
Now think about it. If people really voted for Trump and supported him, that place should be packed. It should. His party last night should have been packed. But when you look at that screenshot I have in the avatar, it's more empty seats than there were people there. That says it all right there.
Yeah, because that's a money maker for during that time where people are going to the hotels, buying memorabilia. That's the best I can pronounce it. They making money. Ain't nobody made no money off of this. The most people that's in them rooms is them people out there doing that old broke up singing, and them few little people that came in. And keep in mind, right now, people are leaving.
Yes.
They don't
all
want
of the presidents are leaving. All of the former presidents said they came just for the swearing in. After that, they are leaving.
Yeah.
So whoever
crowd
goes to that luncheon, is probably a very watered down presidential luncheon.
That's it. And that's all.
Yep. The parade of planets have begun. And also the sun is aligning with Pluto today.
Yeah. Isn't that ironic? That during all the swearing in and all that stuff, the audio started breaking up and all of that.
That's why I kept yelling out. That's the Most High. That's the Most High. That's our Heavenly Father disrupting it.
Yep, giving us a sign and all. Now y'all keep in mind, and I know Lisa had already knew because we talked about it. 4 + 7 = 11. I always talk about the number 11 and the number 17. In the word number 11, it represents chaos, disorder, and judgment. Now, when Trump was elected president, it was the first phases of Mercury in retrograde, and that ain't not good. That is not good to step into anything new. Retrograde is always going back into the past, but you don't want to get into anything new. You don't want to sign any major paperwork. You just want to just kind of, it's like cleaning house. That's the main thing that retrograde represents. Also, retrograde represents things are not what it seems.
Right.
Keep that in mind, folks. And look at how their new year has started out. It is not the new year yet for us. Look at how their new year has started. Elon's rockets is falling out of the sky. I mean, I ain't never seen so much mess in my life. I can't even keep up.
And they already ran off Vivek. They ran his ass off. They ran him off before Donald Trump was sworn in.
Wow.
But I don't feel bad. Now, I'm going to redo that video if it didn't have sound. But what I pretty much said is, I didn't support Vivek anyway because he came in all anti-Black. And look at what's happening to him. He's the only brown guy in this new cabinet, and he's the first to be ran off. I knew Elon wasn't going to work with his butt. I knew he wasn't.
That's what he get. He got him a nigga moment.
And I said, and look at what happened to him when he was still running for president. Them folks in Iowa told him they didn't vote for him because he was brown. And they thought he was a Muslim, right? And then Ann Coulter said she wouldn't vote for him because he was Indian. And now look at what happened. He got that big cabinet position. And before Donald Trump was sworn in, they already ran his butt off. And then he's sitting there talking about he gonna run for Ohio governor. Ain't nobody gonna vote for him. See, them white folks are mad at him because he called them lazy and mediocre. They ain't going out there and voting for that man.
No, they're not going to forget that.
Win.
They're not going to forget that.
He would never win. Never. Ain't happening. So, he's getting a dose of his own medicine, and I'm loving it. It's going to be a lot of failure during Donald Trump's presidency. Number one, you didn't even get in there the right way. Number two, look at the place is falling apart before you even got sworn in. And those MAGA people, a lot of them are still mad over that H-1B visas, bringing them folks in for those high-tech jobs. They're still upset over that.
Yeah, and then these dummies didn't understand what tariffs mean. All kind of craziness.
Yeah, well, he's going to sign those tariffs by executive order today. So everything, y'all take a good look at the prices because they're all going up. Everything is officially going up.
Lisa, we went to the store today. We went to the store before the sun came up. And my husband wanted to get some potatoes. And he asked the lady, how much are these potatoes? $14 for some damn potatoes.
Yep. Wait until your bread, a loaf of bread is double what you're paying now. Y'all, everything's going up. It's about to, You know what it's going to do? It's going to create a new class of working poor people out here. That's what it's going to do.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not surprised a bag of potato $14. That's outrageous.
We put them back and we went across town and found some potatoes at a much reasonable price.
That's okay, because here the farmer's market is cheap. The farmer's market is going to sue my ass a lot. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, there you go, right there. And I found out something. I went to the 7-Eleven store this morning, and the damn eggs is cheaper at 7-Eleven than at the major grocery store.
I believe it.
Because a sister said something to me. She said, you know, the egg I wasn't even coming in there for eggs. It was something on sale I wanted in there. And she said, you know, eggs are way cheaper here at the corner store. I'm like, get out of here. At the corner store? Yes, the eggs.
I tell you what, y'all, brace yourself. I just hope everybody's ready, because it's always been hard for us. But these folks here, these Gentiles, oh, they already crying. And Donald Trump didn't even put the tariffs in effect. Can you imagine the tears that's going to be coming from them? Because once he signs that tariff, y'all, everything's going to instantly go up. It's not like 2 weeks from now, a month from now. Once he gets done signing those tariffs, it's instant. Everything is going up. Everything.
Oh yeah, and another thing, and them Latin men who voted for Trump, they already running y'all up out of here, out of this country, because when they be crossing that border illegally, who is mainly crossing it? The men first.
Yeah.
All right. So they running back.
Oh, they've been crying all over videos over there on TikTok about how they're scared of what's coming. Well, then get your butt out of here. Get your butt out of here. You don't have to sit here and wait for ICE to show up. Get your ass out.
Hey, warriors.
I don't feel bad for none of them.
Warriors, black folks are doing that now. Said black people worry about us and stay out of their mess.
Yeah. Oh, we've been doing that now.
Yeah, we right after the election, you started seeing videos of our folks saying, you know what? I'm minding my own damn business. We stay out of their affairs and deal with our immediate situation.
I'm interested to see how many people are going to be putting up videos of Donald Trump saying that he got in because they rigged the election for him. I want to see how many people get on that bandwagon.
I want to see how the media cover it up.
I don't think they're going to talk. I think they're going to avoid it. I really do. I think they're going to avoid the whole topic. See, that's why the media online has already surpassed mainstream news, because you get way more information if you listen to channels online than you would ever get from mainstream news.
Yeah, you know, a few years ago, I've had friends and family member would be asking me, where are you getting this news from? I didn't hear about this. I didn't hear about that. Now, you know what? Now they behind us online listening to it too. Because they thought I was just talking outside of my neck.
And we got a bigger audience than many of the mainstream channels. Like I told y'all, when I did the one on Carolyn Bryan, I got over 600,000 views. And I went to the mainstream news when they found her. They didn't get hardly no views. They were getting things like 30,000, 40,000, and I had over 600,000 views.
So it
goes to show you people are no longer concerned about getting information from mainstream news. They're not concerned about it.
No, they're not. So you asked, where is Herschel Walker? He up in some white woman's bed. That's where he at.
Yeah, didn't Donald Trump just made him the ambassador of Bermuda. So he's just going to be in a different location laying with a white woman. That's all he's going to That's all he's going to be doing for the next 4 years.
And ducking and dodging child support. That's what he's going to be doing, like he usually do. Ain't nothing new.
And I don't think he ever gave that campaign money back. And a couple of $1 million. Herschel ain't giving that back. And
his sweet son is still over there on Instagram putting up them crazy videos.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time. I was having fun trolling. I trolled his ass over there on Twitter.
I go over there all the time, and he's still doing what he's doing, screaming and hollering and stuff, and shopping. So it's gonna be interesting what we see.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah,
all we got to do is stay out of the way, y'all, because these people are about to destroy each other. Just stay out of the way. Stay out of the way. That's it.
But you said all that
for us to do.
All that poop and circumstances.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? You had your inauguration in the same spot that got smeared up with piss and poop.
Well, that's what Trump's familiar with, Lisa.
Wow. I said maybe that's signifying what his whole administration is going to be like.
Now we done seen a mini inauguration. That was the sorriest inauguration I ever seen. They hurried up and got that joker out the way. The music, everything was just off. Just
it sure
off.
Was.
In that little tiny ass room. So
well, there wasn't that many people that came, so that was probably the right size for Donald Trump.
Yeah, that sound about right. That sound about right. I want to see how many people were standing outside, because they put them big old those screens out there, and for people to enjoy it outside. I want to see who was out there.
Well, they showed the Capitol, but I don't know if that was the Capitol live or that was just a picture.
Yeah, I'm going to search around now. Yeah. They said on Democracy Now!, this is an updated version. On Democracy Now!, people were out there protesting. Thousands of people were out there protesting.
Yeah, it seemed like it's more protesters than people there for Donald Trump. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. So they knew what time it is. They knew what was going on, was going to happen. That is a big embarrassment that you got more people out there protesting than coming for the inauguration. So yeah, that's another excuse to bring it inside. So it was a lot of factors working against.
Did you see what Byron Donald said? Did y'all see what Byron Donald said?
No.
When they interviewed him, he said, "Daddy's back." Donald Trump, Daddy's back in the White House. Daddy, he called Donald Trump Daddy.
A grown man called another man
Byron
Daddy?
Donald called Donald Trump Daddy.
Oh, Lord. That's shameful, Lisa. Daddy?
Ricky Teeny, that's even worse than you. I'm not going to call you Ricky Minor. I'm going to call you Ricky Teeny. Ricky Teeny, that's even worse than you.
Lisa, don't say teeny. It makes me want to laugh so hard. The way you can't say Teeny. You're the only person I can just say teeny that this tickles me.
Still there?
When you said, the first time I heard you say teeny, when you said Arnold Schwarzenegger had a teeny package, I screamed.
I guess Ricky Teeny left, huh? I don't blame you. You should leave.
She needs to stop. You got people on my channel screaming.
You should leave, Ricky Teeny. You're going to feel real teeny when you see how bad Donald Trump is for these next 4 years.
Oh, my stomach hurt. You should see these laugh emojis over here. Oh.
That's okay. You can keep trolling. That's I got a new name for you.
Teeny.
With your cornball ass. I went over there and heard that old folk ass music playing on a black man's channel. You need to have your butt kicked above your head.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know that shit is funny. I don't know where LVZ is.
I don't know where he is either.
He
could be working.
Or he could be down there at the inauguration cutting
up.
He
could be. Yeah.
It's right down the street from his house. Shit.
I know, right?
Yeah, ain't that sad? A whole grown black man calling Donald Trump
daddy.
Daddy. No, no.
Daddy.
No. Slow down. He's not a whole grown black man. That's not a whole man saying that. You know, he don't look at himself as a man to be calling him daddy. That's how I look at it. He's lowering himself. Yeah, y'all forgot he lived in DC, huh?
And the beautiful part is he did all that campaigning for Donald Trump, and Daddy wouldn't even give him a cabinet position.
I'm gonna call LVZ later because I want to know what's going on in DC, and he's gonna give us a first-hand, boots on the ground view of what's going down. LVZ, I need to hear from him. I'm gonna call him.
Yeah,
I just thought about that. I know. What you say? Skeleton fan said he sounds like he in the rainbow community to me. He wants some favors. Well, here you come, Ricky.
Ricky Tini in the house.
He got a message for you, Lisa. He said he got a message for you. Oh, damn.
In the house.
See that message, damn it. He had a message for Lisa.
In the house.
Jewel Ivy, I don't mind you using the
And the funny part is Ricky Tini, he didn't pick nobody that looked like you for that cabinet. What a damn shame.
Yeah, you supporting Trump, and Trump don't give a damn about you.
That's okay. See, on this channel, we gonna troll your ass back.
We invite you.
Troll your back.
Come on back. What was that troll that used to be on your channel heavily? You ran off.
Oxyman.
Oxyman. Where Oxyman at? I miss him.
He's around. He's on other black channels.
He can't take it. He can't take it no more.
Yeah. That's where he's on other black channels.
I want to ask some of y'all a question real quick before we get off here. Did anybody get a stimulus check?
No.
Because I was reading articles that folks been getting. They said 1 million got a stimulus check. That ain't nothing. 1 million folks. That ain't nothing in this country.
No, I didn't get none.
No, let's see.
Now, Teeny Ricky didn't get none either.
Oh, yeah, we know he didn't get none.
His ass ain't getting nothing. He didn't even get pocket change from Donald Trump.
Okay. He said, tell Lisa Trump did many amazing things to help us colors.
Well, you're a colored.
Well, what did he do?
We're Hebrews. You're a colored. And by the way, he don't do anything for you little teeny people like Teeny Ricky. And he don't do nothing for folks like that. Why don't you go down there and see if somebody looked like you in Donald Trump's cabinet? And if you're such a Trump lover, Ricky Teeny, why didn't you get a hotel room? There's tons of them down there. You could have got a hotel room and went to the inauguration to see your daddy get sworn in.
Yeah, you're right about that. Color was used in the 50s. You spelling Ricky Teeny, RICKTINI. I love it. Oh my goodness, they messing with Lisa's sound.
You should go down there. They got plenty of hotel rooms. What's the problem? You should be down there for your daddy, Ricky Teeny.
Come on back. You couldn't take the pain.
Yeah. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude, although I'm having a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and conclude.
So Lisa said she would redo that video later on.
What's that?
You said that you would redo that video that was, you didn't have no sound on?
Yeah. I'm about Vivek. Yeah, I will redo that one. AO Carter, thank you for becoming a new member. MC2, the X Project, thank you for becoming a new member. Wow, 11 months.
Oh, wonderful. I got me a member. I have to go look. I'm shocked. Somebody became a member, and I ain't hardly put no videos up, but I'm going to do more. Dark skinned brother, I'm going to thank you again. Thank you for your ongoing support.
Absolutely. So, y'all, we're going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you for being here. And never forget, we got 4 years to keep calling Donald Trump a cheat, a liar, a criminal.
A convicted
we got
felon.
4 years to do it.
A convicted felon in office.
Yes, and rigged the election so he could get in office.
Straight crook.
So he's still being a criminal. Ricky Teeny, you go running after your daddy Trump. Like I said, they got plenty of hotel rooms down there. All you got to do is take your tiny bald-headed ass down there and be around Donald Trump.
Yeah, and they selling knee pads down there too. So
yes. They got knee pads and big straw hats. So you get your butt on down there. You'll feel right at home.
Yeah. All right.
All right, y'all. Shalom, family.
Shalom to the royal family.